गौरानीता जय जय गौरानीता मिताई गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। जय 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 प्रभुपाद 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 प्रभुपाद। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवाद पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वती नामिने। श्रीवार्षभालवी देवी दैताय कृपाप्रिये कृष्णसम्बन्ध विज्ञानदायिने प्रभवे नमः। माधुर्यजलप्रेमाढ्य श्रीरूपानुगभक्तिद श्रीगौरकरुणाशक्तिविग्रहाय नमोऽस्तुते। नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तिरिनतारिणे रूपानुगविरुद्धापसिद्धान्तद्वान्तहारिणे। नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्बरसाम्भोधिपादाम्बुजाय ते नमः। नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगवराय ते। गौराविर्भावभूमे निर्देष्टा सज्जना प्रिय वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्रीजगन्नाथाय नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरतिषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपः स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपीश गोपिकान्त श्रीराधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। जयतां सुरतौ पंगोर्मम मन्देर्मतेर्गति मत्सर्वसपदां भोजौ श्रीराधा मदनमोहनौ। दिव्यवृन्दारण्यं कल्पाद्रुमादः श्रीमद्रत्नागार सिंहासनस्थौ श्रीमद्राधा शीलगोविन्ददेवो पृष्ठालिभिसेवमानस्मरामि। श्रीमान् राससारं देवं श्रीवटतरसितः कर्षन् वेणुस्वनिर्गोपी गोपीनाथ श्रीयस्तुनः। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी श्रीराधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। So we are doing from 31st verse, 17th chapter, 31st verse. Now Maharaj Parikshit, he decided to punish Kali, but then Kali took shelter of Maharaj Parikshit. He surrendered to Maharaj Parikshit by bowing his head. Now Maharaj Parikshit immediately accepted the surrenderance and then smiled compassionately at him. Now what are the words which is spoken by Maharaj Parikshit? Let us see. 31st verse, 17th chapter, 1st canto. Rajovacha nate gudakeeshayashodharanam baddhanjalervai bhayamasti kinchet na vartitavyam bhavata katham kshetre kathanchana kshetre madiye tvamadharma bandhuhu. One second. Okay. So Maharaj Parikshit says, Nate Nate Gudakesha Yashodharanam. Na. Te. So, na means you don't have to fear. Whatever we have got, yasha dharana, we have inherited the fame from our heritage. That is from our Arjuna. We have inherited the fame of Arjuna. Baddha anjalaihi. So one who has surrendered with folded hands, na bhayam. He need not have to fear. So na comes here. Na bhayam yashaha dharanam gulakeshaha. Baddha anjalaihi. You have stood with folded hands. And we have inherited this quality from our grandfather Arjuna. Asti kinchit vartitavyam asti kinchit. You don't have to have a slightest fear also. Na vartitavyam. You don't have to fear for your life. Cannot be allowed to live. Like this fear you don't have to have. Bhavataha, by you. You should not have such type of fear. Kathanchana kshetre madiye tvam adhama bandhuhu. So he says, Kathana kshetre madiye. You are not supposed to live here. Can be allowed to live. Na vartitavyam. Here it comes. Na vartitavyam. I cannot allow you to live in my kingdom. Madiye. By all means, in this land, you will not be living. Because adharma bandhu, you are the friend of religion, irreligion. So let us see again. There are two times na used. One is don't fear that you will be killed. Don't fear for your life. And one na is for vartitavyam, you will not be allowed to live here. Because we have inherited the quality from our grandfather. So we will not kill you. You don't have to have that fear that we will kill you. At the same time, we will not allow you to stay in our kingdom. Because you are friend of irreligion, adharma bandhu. See how nicely Parikshit Maharaj has spoken to Kali. Sometimes we feel why he is compassionate. He is compassionate, at the same time he is strict. Somebody is standing with Anjali Mudra. That means what? He has come to you. He has taken your shelter. But that doesn't mean you have encouraged his nonsense. To some extent, you have given him some relief. And what is that relief? You are not killing him. At the same time, you are not encouraging his nonsensical things. So that is known as Raja Rishi. Raja Rishi's administration goes like this. He is strict, at the same time, wherever dharma is required, wherever the justice on the basis of dharma is required, that he has done. Because he has taken shelter. He said, even if an enemy comes to your house, you have to feed him a glass of water, isn't it? Suppose enemy comes to your house. What should you do? Will you just kill him? It is also said, you cannot fight with a person who is unarmed. You cannot fight with a person if he is sleeping. Nowadays, whatever war goes, like even you can see in Hiroshima, Nagasaki, when people were sleeping, bomb was put. That is not allowed. In the Dharma Yuddha, there are certain rules which is followed. And suppose an enemy comes to your tent, you are supposed to welcome him. You are supposed to feed him. So that is Dharma Yuddha. And nowadays, that is nothing like Dharma Yuddha. So that is how, on the basis of Dharma, show some mercy, at the same time, punish whatever is required. Don't encourage irreligion. Okay, Raksha Mataji, read the purport. So this Anvaya, what I'm doing, this Anvaya, when you are studying also, try to do Anvaya. See, directly don't land up in translation. Sometimes you may not understand how to do Anvaya. There you can take the support of translation. But try to analyze the verses. When you do the analysis of the verses, we can understand. Baddha Anjalaihi, like that. So slowly, how the Sanskrit words are used, that can be understood. Read.
Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Danvat Pranam. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Ho. The personality of Kali, who is the friend of all kinds of irreligiosities, may be excused if he surrenders. But in all circumstances, he cannot be allowed to live as a citizen in any part of the welfare state. The Pandavas were entrusted representative of the personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, who practically brought into being a battle of Kurukshetra, but not for any personal interest. He wanted an ideal king like Maharaja Yudhishthir and his descendants like Maharaj Parikshit to rule the world, and therefore a responsible king like Maharaja Parikshit would not allow the friend of irreligiosity to flourish in his kingdom at the cost of good fame of the Pandavas. That is the way of wiping out the corruption in the state, and not otherwise. The friends of irreligiosity should be banished from the state, and that will save the state from corruption. Hare Krishna.
Okay, now what happens in the in the age of Kali? Now, the personality of Kali, what is going to happen? Now, that is now that what you guys going on, Dwapar, you guys going on. But what is going to come up? Because he's a Raja Rishi, he can understand in the age of Kali, who will be there as the administrative heads? It will be like those who are following irreligiosity. And what is that irreligiosity? He will try to act like a man god or a king. And what is going to happen? That has been given in the next verse. Tvam vartamanam naradev dehe anupravritta yamadharma pugaha lobho nurtam chauryam anaryam arho amho jyeshtha chamaya kalahachadambah. Tvam vartamanam, you are now present. Who is present? Kali is present. So now what are you trying to act as a king? Naradeva deheshu. You are trying to project yourself as the man god, or Naradeva means man god, or you are trying to project yourself as a king. But anupravrato means you are encouraging. What you are encouraging? Ayam dharma pugaha. You are encouraging adharma. And adharmas, what are the characteristics of adharma? Lobho. Lobho means greed. Greed. Anrutam. Anrutam. Anrutam means falsity. Chauryam, robbery. Anaryam, incivility. Then amhaha, treasury. Jeshtha, misfortune. Maya, cheating. Kalaha, quarrel. Dambaha, vanity or pride, you can say dambaha. So in this way, because you are trying to act like a king means who protects the weak. But what are you introducing? You are introducing all these wrong things. Already if you see in the first chapter, the lakshanas of Kali Yuga has been given. There are 6 vices: Prayan, Alpa, Isha, Sabya, Kalavasmi, Nigejana, Manda, Sumanda, Matiyo, Manda, Bhagya, Upadana. More characteristics has been given. Quarrel is already included in that. Misfortune is also included in it. But extra things were there. What was there? One will be dull-headed. One will be like, one will have less ayu, Prayan, Alpa, Isha, Sabya, Kalavasmi, Nigejana, Manda, Sumanda, lazy. So those things again are not repeated. Extra things have been told. Greed, falsehood, robbery, incivility, treasury. This misfortune already is there. Cheating is already cheating, quarrel, vanity, and all this will be introduced. Okay, Venkatesh Avatar, read. How's the connectivity? Voice is not coming. Okay. Mute. Sanjay Prabhu, read.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanavad Pranam. The principles of religion, namely austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness, as we have already discussed, may be followed by the follower of any faith. There is no need to turn from Hindu to Mohammedan, to Christian, or some other faith, and thus become a renegade and not follow the principles of religion. The Bhagavatam religion urges following the principles of religion. The principles of religion are not the dogmas or regulative principles of a certain faith. Such regulative principles may be different in terms of the time and place concerned. One has to see whether the aims of religion have been achieved. Sticking to the dogmas and formulas without attaining the real principles is not good. A secular state may be impartial to any particular type of faith, but the state cannot be indifferent to the principles of religion as above mentioned. But in the age of Kali, the executive heads of state will be indifferent to such religious principles, and therefore, under their patronage, the opponents of religious principles such as greed, falsehood, cheating, and pilfery will naturally follow, and so there will be no meaning to propaganda trying to stop corruption in the state. Hare Krishna.
Okay, 33rd verse. Navartitavyam tadadharma bandho dharmena satyena cha vartitavye brahmavarte yatra yajanti yajñet yajñeshwaram yajñavidana vigyaha navartitavyam. You do not deserve to live where you do not deserve to remain, not live, remain vartitavyam, because you are adharma. You are the friend of adharma. Bandho adharma. You are the friend of adharma. That is why you do not deserve to live dharmena satyena cha, where religion is there, truth is there. In that place, Brahma avarte, where sacrifice is performed, where people are truthful, people perform religiosity. Yatra yajanti, where all these sacrifices, yajnaha, yatra yajanti yajnaha, where the sacrifices are duly performed. For whom these sacrifices are done? Yajñeshwaram yajña vitana vigyaha. These experts, vigyaha means experts, they are performing or spreading this sacrifice for yajna ishwaram, for the satisfaction of Krishna. By yajñahi yajna ishwaram, so for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord, the yajñahi, the experts, they are performing the sacrifices. So their truth prevails, their dharma prevails. So in that case, you are not supposed to stay. Where falsity is there, where greed is there, that is the place of Kali. A person who has these cannot stay in a place where sacrifice is done, where dharma is prevalent, where truth is prevalent. You see a person having this type of mentality, they cannot stay. So what are the lakshanas of a people who have who are bound by this Kali? These are the lakshanas. They will be talking lies, they will be greedy, they will have the treasury attitude, incivility, they don't know how to behave. They're misfortunate people, they cheat people, they quarrel with people. So such people cannot stay in a place where religion prevails, where truth prevails, where every work is done as a sacrifice for Krishna, where every work is done for the satisfaction of Krishna. So those who have this type of mentality cannot stay. Simple. So how to understand this? It is not just told to the personification Kali. It is told to those people who are following adharma. You see a person who is on the side of adharma, you bring him with the devotees, it will be very difficult for him to stay. Howsoever you try it out, you may try out so many things, but you try out bringing a person who is bound by Kali, to try to bring him in a temple atmosphere, he will not. He cannot stay there. He will try to spread Kali. He will try to spread this misfortune what he has. And that can be your very near and dear ones also. Because of their mentality, quarreling mentality, cheating mentality, greed mentality, because they don't do any activity for the satisfaction of Krishna. Lobha is what? Greed. So you, howsoever, try it out. You will only burn your finger. You'll only burn your finger. We have been trying and we are burning our finger also. So it is there. So this is not just Bhagavatam, which is just, we are just reading. It is a practical application. You try out bringing the people who are influenced by Kali. We have, because devotees means they have soft corner. They want to make everybody devotees. But Krishna tells very clearly, 4 types of people will not come to me. But still, devotees don't lose the hope. But devotees burn the finger and then cry and sit. So what to do? Ours is a preaching movement. So we have to preach even to our near and dear ones, we have to preach. But this is a fact which Parikshit Maharaj is speaking. So that is why Bhagavatam is Amala Pramana. Bhagavatam is the answer for all our solutions. I had some, just 1 hour before, some confusion was there. So I was just thinking, why such confusion is there? When we are trying to do good to the people, why such confusion? Answer I have got. And what is that answer? Kali has been told that you cannot remain in such a place. Because when the sacrifice is done for Krishna, you cannot remain because you are having all these qualities. So this is an answer. We can try out. We can try to give the best to the people, but it is not possible. Because this answer is this is the answer. Okay. Vimla Mataji, please read the purport.
Hare Krishna. Yageshwara, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the beneficiary of all kinds of sacrificial ceremonies. Such sacrificial ceremonies are prescribed differently in the scriptures for different ages. In other words, sacrifice means to accept the supremacy of the Lord and thereby perform acts by which the Lord may be satisfied in all respects. The atheists do not believe in the existence of God, and they do not perform any sacrifice for the satisfaction of the Lord. Any place or country where the supremacy of the Lord is accepted and thus sacrifice is performed is called Brahmavarta. There are different countries in different parts of the world, and each and every country may have different types of sacrifice to please the Supreme Lord, but the central point in pleasing Him is ascertained in the Bhagavatam, and it is truthfulness. The basic principle of religion is truthfulness, and the ultimate goal of all religions is to satisfy the Lord. In this age of Kali, the greatest common formula of sacrifice is the Sankirtan Yajna. That is the opinion of the experts who know how to propagate the process of Yajna. Lord Chaitanya preached this method of Yajna, and it is understood from this verse that the sacrificial method of Sankirtan Yajna may be performed anywhere and everywhere in order to drive away the personality of Kali and save human society from falling prey to the influence of the age. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So very clearly it has been said, Sankirtana may be performed anywhere and everywhere in order to drive away the personality of Kali and save human society from falling prey to the influence of false age. That is why this is the statement, Sankirtana Yajna. This is the only solution. There is no other solution to come out of all the confusion. This is the only solution. Okay, next. Thirty-fourth verse. Yasmin harir bhagavan nijyamana Ijyatma murtir yajatam shamtanoti Kamana moghan sirajangamana antarbahirvayuriva antarbahirvayurivaisha atma. What happens in the sacrifice? Yasmin harir bhagavan nijyamanaha. Bhagavan ijyamanaha. He has to be worshipped. Yagyathat karmano netra lokoyam karma bandhana tadartam karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. Yagya means Yagya Purusha is Krishna. You have to worship Krishna. Yes. So Lord has to be worshipped. He is the soul of all the worshipable deities. But sometimes a demigod is worshipped. That has been given. Yajatam sam tanoti kamam amogha. So sometimes why the demigod is worshipped? Because some desires are there. Sthirajangamamam. So he is the soul for everyone, moving, non-moving, he is a soul. He is there within also, outside also. Antaha bahi. Vayu, like how air is inside also, outside also, Lord is also there inside, outside. And he is a spirit soul. So sometimes some demigods are worshipped, yajatam. But the purpose is what? Some common, some desires. But the purpose of worshipping Krishna is to give welfare to everyone. That we have seen in the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita also. For parasparam bhavam along to with the demigods, to fulfill some desires, demigods are worshipped. But Lord is worshipped because he is the super soul of everyone. He is the Yagya Purusha. And when he is worshipped, that is going to award welfare for everyone. When a demigod is worshipped, somebody can worship just for having some material desires to be fulfilled. But in fact, even if you are worshipping a demigod, it actually goes to Krishna only. Even if a demigod is worshipped, it doesn't go to demigod, it goes to Krishna only. Yagyatharth, it is for him. Every yagya is actually for Krishna. You may do Durga Havan, you may do Ganpati Havan, but ultimately, what you say, Kayena vacha, manasendriyerva, buddhyatmanava, sabhava, karomi yadya saklam parasmai, narayanayati, samarpayami. Last, what is told? Everything is for Narayana. If that is understood, that even any demigod worship is actually going to Narayana, then it gives welfare to everyone. It is for the welfare of everybody. Some klesha is there. You are told to do some yajna. No problem. Do it. But ultimately have an understanding. Demigod is subservient to Krishna. And demigod is taken shelter just to remove the kleshas to serve Krishna more nicely. Directly going and disturbing Krishna, instead of that, taking the shelter of a demigod so that all the kleshas are removed and we can serve Krishna very nicely. Yadapada pallavagam vinidhaya kumbha dvandve pranama samesa ganadhiraja vignan vihantu malamasya jagatvesya govindam adi purusham tamam bhajami. The purpose of doing some yajna to please a demigod is to take the benediction from the demigod to serve Krishna nicely. Like you go to a doctor. What is the purpose of going to a doctor? So that you cure yourself and serve Krishna nicely. So, in the same way, you are going to a demigod with the mood is what? Okay, my graha dosha is there. You only remove it. Why you remove? So that I can serve Krishna very nicely. That is the purpose. I can serve Krishna nicely, so only I am removing the doshas. I have come to you for removing the doshas. It is not that Krishna cannot remove. Krishna is empowering the demigod to remove the doshas for us. Like Krishna is empowering the material doctor or a gross doctor to remove our misery. Is it that pills what he is giving has cured you? How that pills cured you? Because again, it is will of Krishna. We should see. Not that every time the pill cures. If you are destined to die, will the pill, why the time the pill is not curing you or the medicine is not curing you? We should understand this very nicely. Sometimes if you know, the doctor बहुत अच्छा बचा लेगा. Again, it depends on the will of Krishna. It depends on the will of Krishna. Yes, the medicine is acting at that time. It is acting favorably in your body. Sometimes it becomes unfavorable. The doctor is the same. It is favorable that time because again, it is a sanction of the Supreme Personality of God. He has bestowed mercy upon us. And okay, your health is cured. Now you can serve very nicely. So that is what is given. Sometimes demigod is worshipped, but the Supreme Personality of God is worshipped because he is a super soul of everyone, exists both inside and outside like the air. Thus it is he only who awards all welfare to the worshipper. Okay. Aruna Smukhi Mataji. Here only I can read all full names.
Hare Krishna, purport by Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. It is even sometimes seen that demigods like Indra and Chandra are worshipped and offered sacrificial awards. Yet the rewards of all such sacrifices are awarded to the worshipper by the Supreme Lord, and it is the Lord only who can offer all welfare to the worshipper. The demigods, although worshipped, cannot do anything without the sanction of the Lord, because the Lord is the super soul of everyone, both moving and non-moving. In Bhagavad Gita 9.23, the Lord himself confirms this in the following shloka. Ye api anya devata bhakta yajante shraddhaya yajante shraddhavan vitaha te api mameva kaunteya yajanti avidhi purvakam. Whatever a man may sacrifice to other gods, O son of
Avidhi
Kunti.
Purvakam. Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, no? Yepi anyah devata bhakta yajante shraddhayanvitaha tepi mameva kaunteya yajanti avidhi purvakam. Actually, I am only giving. Krishna says. Okay.
Whatever a man may sacrifice to other gods, O son of Kunti, is really meant for me alone, but it is offered without true understanding. The fact is that the Supreme Lord is one without a second. There is no God other than the Lord himself. Thus, the Supreme Lord is eternally transcendental to the material creation. But there are many who worship the demigods like the sun, the moon, and Indra, who are only material representative of the Supreme Lord. These demigods are indirect, qualitative representations of the Supreme Lord. A learned scholar or devotee, however, knows who is who. Therefore, he directly worships the Supreme Lord and is not diverted by the material qualitative representations. Those who are not so learned worship such qualitative material representations, but their worship is unceremonious because it is irregular. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Sutuvacha parikshitaiva madishtah sakalir jatave patuho tam udyatasim ahedam dandapani vivodyatam. Okay. Suta Goswami said. What he said? Parikshitah Adishtah. Parikshit Maharaj has now ordered Adishtah. To whom? To Kali, the personality of Kali. So what was he doing? Vepatuhu. You have come across this word, Vepatu, trembling. Where you have come across this word, trembling? Anybody remembers?
Where the bull was trembling and urinating in fear when Kali was beating up onto the mace.
Okay. As a Bhakti Shastri student, where you remember this word Vepatu? Now your Bhakti Vaibhava.
where Arjuna was saying that
My body is trembling.
body is trembling, my senses are reeling.
First chapter. So now here, there is difference in trembling also. What Arjuna was trembling and Kali is trembling, a lot of difference is there. Arjuna is trembling in fear just to see his relative, because he cannot see his relatives dying. That is that trembling. What is this trembling? This is the trembling because he is having the fear that he is going to die. And what is the trembling of the bull? 3 legs are gone and he is trembling out of pain. So when a person is trembling, there can be trembling in ecstasy also. Sometimes trembling is in ecstasy also. So don't equalize all the trembling. Arjuna's trembling, Parishit Maharaj's trembling, bull's trembling are on all different causes. Now he is trembling. And Udyataha Asim Aha. Why is he trembling? Because Parishit Maharaj has ordered him, and there is a sword, Asim. He's standing like an Yamaraj there. Parishit Maharaj, Dandapani, is standing like an Yamaraj. And he just wants to drive him out. He's not killing him, but some fear has to be shown now. He told, don't get afraid, but sword should be there in the hand of a king. If he has to drive away nonsensical thing, he has to have some astra with him, like police have rifles. He need not kill the thief. He need not kill the one who has done a lot of atrocities. But that thing is going to create a fear in the heart of a wrong person. So seeing the king before him like Yamaraj, ready to kill him, Kali spoke to the king as follows. Already he has forgiven him and told him to go out. Still Kali is going to now talk to him. Okay, Mohit Prabhu, read.
Krishna Mataji. Purport. The king was ready to kill him at once as soon as the personality of Kali would disobey his order. Otherwise, the king had no objection to allow him to prolong his life. The personality of Kali also, after attempting to get rid of the punishment in various ways, decided that he must surrender unto him, and thus he began to tremble in fear of his life. The king or the executive head must be so strong as to stand before the personality of Kali as the personality of death, Yamaraj. The king's order must be obeyed, otherwise the culprit's life is in risk. That is the way to rule the personalities of Kali who create disturbance in the normal life of the state citizens.
Yes. This is the work of an authority. The authority can be at any level. The authority can be temple authorities. But at every level, what is the way to rule? You have compassion also. At the same time, you should be strict in following the dharma. And dharma is based on 4 principles: compassion, truthfulness, austerity, purity. These 4 principles has to be maintained. Somebody asked Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, you're introducing these 4 principles. Who is going to come to you? Prabhupada said, I am not opening a fish market. I have opened a diamond market. So wherever dharma has to be laid, then the authority has to be strict. He cannot just, somebody may like it, somebody may not like it. But he has to be strict because these 4 principles has to be set up. And Kali, personification of Kali is all these wrong qualities. So to drive away these wrong qualities, some strictness has to be given. Now here, sword is taken by Parishit Maharaj. Just because if he is not following, he will kill. He has given him a chance that you go away from here. But if he is disobeying, then personality of Kali is going, then Parishit Maharaj is going to kill him. So that fear has to be installed in a wrong doer. Okay. Kaliruvacha yatrakva pathavatsami sarvabhaumastavakyaya lakshye tatra tatrapi tvam ateshu tvam ateshu sarasanam sharasanam yatra kvavathavashyami sarvabhaumatavagaya lakshye tatra tatrapi tvamateshu sharasanam. Okay. Kali says yatra kwa means anywhere and everywhere. Okay, either here or there. Vatsyami, I shall reside. You have allowed me to reside. Sarvabhauma, oh Lord, you are Sarvabhauma. Sarvabhauma. Sarvabhauma means you are the emperor of the entire earth. Now you tell me you stay here, you stay there. Where should I go? You are telling me to go from here. Where should I go? Because you are the king for the whole earthly planet. So where should I go? By your order, I may go here and there. But wherever I go, what am I seeing? I am seeing your bow. That means I am always in fear. I shall but see with bow and arrow wherever I look. That means wherever I go, I am only seeing your shasan. You are telling me to go out of your kingdom. Where should I go? Where should I go? Because wherever I am going, I am seeing your administration there. Like once Birbal told to Akbar, you are greater than even God. He said, see, don't raise me so much. No, you are greater than God. Prove it or I'll behead you. He said, see, you can throw anybody out of your kingdom. Where Lord will throw? Everything belongs to him only. Na? So this is the answer here. Everything belongs to Parikshit Maharaj. The whole earthly planet has been captured and has been conquered by the Pandavas and automatically inherited by Parikshit Maharaj. So if he says, go out of my kingdom, Kali says, wherever I am going, I am seeing your bow and arrow. That means I am seeing your administration there. That has been described. Okay. Vrindavan Lila Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. The personality of Kali could see that Maharaj Parikshit was the emperor of all lands all over the world, and thus anywhere he might live, he would have to meet with the same mood of the king. The personality of Kali was meant for mischief, and Maharaj Parikshit was meant for subduing all kinds of mischief mongers, especially the personality of Kali. It was better, therefore, for the personality of Kali to have been killed by the king then and there instead of being killed elsewhere. He was, after all, a surrendered soul before the king, and it was for the king to do what was required. Hare Krishna.
Such a tactful Krishna. Here, king says, you go out of my kingdom, and the answer is, where should I go? That means, where should I play mischief, you tell me? Because everywhere, your shasan is there, your administration is there, and your sword is also seen. That means your punishment is realized by me. So which is that place where I can live peacefully without the fear? That means I can do what I want. I will be paying the mischief. I will have all these nonsensical habits. So which is the place where I should go? Where I am not afraid or I am not afraid of your administration. So then he says, Tanme dharma pratam shrestha sthanam nirdeshtumarhasi tatraiva niyato vatsya atishtham te anushasanam. Tat, therefore, dharma pratam. Dharma Bhuta. Dharma Bhuta means protector of religion. O chief, O protector of religion, Which is that place? Thanam nirdheshtam. You allot me a place, nirdheshtam. Give me, fix me a place. Arhasi. Please fix some place for me. Atra yatra evaha niyataha. When I can reside, where I can reside there always. Niyataha vatse. Always I can reside there. Then atishtham. Atishtham is permanent. Now see anushasanam. Anushasanam. Under your protection. Means under your protection, I will do all the nonsensical things indirectly. Where I have no fear of death also. Because now here he is not saying that I am going to improve myself. You fix me a place, why he can stay anywhere now? Why he is asking to fix a place? So that whatever he desires, he will do that. Anyhow, that place is under the care of and the protection of Parikshit Maharaj. That means you are not going to come and kill me there. Now see, there is very technical meanings here. Under your protection, that means you are not going to kill me. Under your protection, I will be doing all nonsensical things. Fix a place where I should be there. There is a very subtle meaning for this. Under your protection, like under the government, under the protection of the government, I will sell the liquor. I will have slaughterhouses. Government should not interfere. Though government says there should be no slaughterhouse, government may say the liquor should be stopped, but everything will be there. But we want such a fixed place under your protection. Nobody comes and removes us from there. That means you close your eyes and protect us. Don't open your eyes at all. Everything will happen. Nonsensical things will happen in the temple. Oh, temple president, close your eyes. It is the same thing, no? Shasan can be anywhere. The Shasan can be in the temple also. The Shasan can be in the office also. So it is not just the administration is just on the higher levels. Like in the house, father and mother are protecting the children. Children say, close your eyes, mother. I will do what I want. I will drink the cigarette. I will do what I want. You should not speak a word. At the same time, your hand should be on our head so that nobody comes and disturbs us or punishes us. Let us see. Okay, first we'll finish. Raksha Mataji, read.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai ho. The personality of Kali could see the Maharaj Parikshit was the emperor of all lands all over the world, and thus anywhere he might live, he would have to meet with the same mood of the king. The personality of Kali was meant for mischief, and Maharaja Parikshit was meant for subduing all kinds of mischief mongers. Especially the personality of Kali,
I think you are reading the previous one,
What
Mataji.
Certainly, I am also seeing what.
Oh, sorry, Mataji.
37th one.
Sorry, Mataji. I'm कली के उसमें विचार में चली गई माता जी, सॉरी.
क्या विचार है वाह.
Sorry, Mataji. The personality of Kali addressed Maharaja Parikshit as the chief among the protectors of religious cities because the king refrained from killing a person who surrendered unto him. A surrendered soul should be given all protection, even though he may be an enemy. That is the principle of religion, and we can just imagine what sort of protection is given by the personality of Godhead to the person who surrenders unto him, not as an enemy but as the devoted servitor. The Lord protects the surrendered soul from all sins and all resultant reaction of sinful acts. Bhagavad Gita 18.66. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Okay, then what happens? Let us see. Sutuvacha abhyartitastada tasmai sthanani kalaye dadao dyutam panam sriyasuna yatha dharmas chaturvidaha. So after hearing this, abhyartitha, then the king petitioned. Tada tasman sthanani kalayah. He gave place to Kali. Dadav gave permission. 4 places he can reside. Dyutam, where gambling is there. Panam, gambling means falsity is there. No truthfulness. Panam, drinking. That is intoxication. Where austerity is not there, he can stay there. Striyaha, illicit association with women, where purity is not there. Shuna, where compassion is lost, animal slaughter is there. Yatra dharma chaturvidaha, in these 4 places, 4 kinds of sinful activities, you can stay. Okay, that is why Krishna conscious movement is based on 4 principles. And these 4 principles are no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex, no meat eating. Okay. The long purport, 2-3 people can, 2-3 devotees can stay. Read. Vimala, you start. Then Aruna can do. Then Kankanga Chaitanya Prabhu can do. Two paragraphs you can do. Vimala.
Hare Krishna Mataji. The basic principles of irreligiosity, such as pride, prostitution, intoxication, and falsehood, counteract the 4 principles of religion, namely austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. The personality of Kali was given permission to live in 4 places particularly mentioned by the king, namely the place of gambling, the place of prostitution, the place of drinking, and the place of animal slaughter. Srila Jeev Goswami directs that drinking against the principles of scriptures, such as the Sautramani Yagya, association with women outside marriage, and killing animals against the injunctions of scriptures are irreligious. In the Vedas, 2 different types of injunctions are there for the pravartas, or those who are engaged in material enjoyment, and for the nivrattas, or those who are liberated from material bondage. The Vedic injunction for the pravartas is to gradually regulate their activities towards the path of liberation. Therefore, for those who are in the lowest stage of ignorance and who indulge in wine, women, and flesh, drinking by performing Sautramani Yagya, association of women by marriage, and flesh eating by sacrifices are sometimes recommended. Such recommendations in the Vedic literature are meant for a particular class of men and not for all. But because they are injunctions of the Vedas for particular type of persons, such activities by the pravartas are not considered adharma. One man's food may be poison for others. Similarly, what is recommended for those in the mode of ignorance may be poison for those in the mode of goodness. Srila Jeev Goswami Prabhu therefore affirms that recommendations in the scriptures for a certain class of men are never to be considered adharma or irreligious. But such activities are factually adharma and they are never to be encouraged. The recommendations in the scriptures are not meant for encouragement of such adharma, but for regulating the necessary adharma gradually towards the path of dharma. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So such activities are actually adharma and never to be encouraged. The recommendation of the scripture are not meant for encouragement of adharma, but for regulating the necessary adharma gradually towards the path of dharma. Very nice, see the powerful statements which Prabhupada has put. Recommendations in the scriptures. This word is very, very important. Certain things are recommended. You do this, but that is not to encourage adharma. That is to regulate a person in the path of dharma. Okay.
Hare Krishna. Following in the footsteps of Maharaj Parikshit, it is the duty of all executive heads of the states to see that the principles of religion, namely austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness, are established in the state, and that the principles of irreligion, namely pride, illicit female association or prostitution, intoxication, and falsity, are checked by all means. And to make the best use of bad bargain, the personality of Kali may be transferred to places of gambling, drinking, prostitution, and slaughterhouses if there are any places like that. Those who are addicted to these irreligious habits may be regulated by the injunctions of the scripture. In no circumstances should they be encouraged by any state. In other words, the state should categorically stop all sorts of gambling, drinking, prostitution, and falsity. The state which wants to eradicate corruption by majority may introduce the principles of religion in the following manner. Number 1, 2 compulsory fasting days in a month, if not more, austerity. Even from the economic point of view, such 2 fasting days in a month in the state will save tons of food, and the system will also act very favorably on the general health of the citizens. Hare Krishna.
Yes. 2 fasting. 2 compulsory fasting. What is the 2 compulsory fasting?
Ekadashi on Shukla.
This is enough. Prabhupada says, even if you do this much, 2 fasting for a month in the state will save tons of food. It is saying tons of food, and the system will act favorably on the general health of the system, citizens also. So Ekadashi is meant to fast. But we, on the name of Ekadashi, we feast. We say feasting on Ekadashi. We should generally try to reduce. That is a time our body also needs some rest. Whole time dumping, it is not just a dumping ground. The intestine also needs some rest. So generally fruits, light food that is taken. Not on the name of Ekadashi, so much of opulent food. Okay. If somebody has to practice Ekadashi, this is the beginning. Somebody doesn't like to fast, okay, then you show all wonderful things. You have this laddu, that laddu, paneer ka, this sabji, that sabji, aloo ka, this pakoda, that pakodas. That is just to encourage a person to do Ekadashi. But slowly, when a person advances in devotion, he should see that Ekadashi is meant to fast. We go on eating on Ekadashi just because. But Ekadashi is meant to fast. And slowly, when a person matures, he does that. Okay, further.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी, प्रणाम। नंबर 2, तरुण बालकों तथा बालिकाओं की आयु जब क्रमशः 24 वर्ष तथा 16 वर्ष की हो जाए, उनका अनिवार्यतः विवाह होना चाहिए। यदि लड़कों तथा लड़कियों का वैद्य विवाह हो चुका है तो स्कूल तथा कॉलेजों में सह शिक्षा देने में कोई हानि नहीं है। यदि लड़कों तथा लड़कियों में घनिष्ठता हो भी जाए तो अवैध संबंध होने से पूर्व उसका समुचित रीति से विवाह कर दिया जाए। तलाक एक्ट से वैश्यावृत्ति को प्रोत्साहन मिलता है, अतएव इसको मिटा दिया जाए। नंबर 3, राज्य के नागरिक।
What has been told? At the age of 16 itself, girls should be fixed up. They should be married. At least not married, they should be fixed up with a boy. That means engagement has to be done. My mother did for me. So at the age of 17 only, I was fixed up. So it is good. I was not seeing here and there and then landed up in seeing somebody else. No, this is a very good Vedic tradition. You fix a girl to a boy and tell this person only you have to marry. Maybe after 5 years you marry or 6 years you marry, there is not a problem. But you fix a girl to the boy. If mother and father, there is a family relation which happens, then it is a very good thing. Or what happens is the girl goes on seeing so many boys and lands up in marrying somebody else, and then the divorce has to happen. Because love is not there only. So Prabhupada says this, just see how it will stop illicit relationships. Okay, पढ़िए।
नंबर 3, राज्य के नागरिक राज्य में या समाज में आध्यात्मिक वातावरण उत्पन्न करने के लिए अपनी अपनी आय का 50% तक दान में दे। वे भागवत के सिद्धांतों का उपदेश नंबर 1 कर्मयोग द्वारा अर्थात भगवान को प्रसन्न करने के लिए ही प्रत्येक काम करके, नंबर 2 प्रामाणिक पुरुषों तथा मुक्त आत्माओं से श्रीमद् भागवत का नियमित श्रवण करके। नंबर 3, घर पर या पूजा स्थलों पर सामूहिक रूप से भगवान की महिमा का कीर्तन करके। नंबर 4, श्रीमद् भागवतम के उपदेश में लगे भागवतों की सभी प्रकार से सेवा करके। तथा 5, ईश्वर चेतना से पूरित वातावरण वाले स्थान में रहकर करे। यदि राज्य उपयुक्त विधि से संचालित हो तो सहज ही सर्वत्र ईश्वर चेतना होगी। सभी प्रकार का जुआ, द्रूत, यहाँ तक कि सट्टेबाजी भी
This paragraph Prabhupada very clear says 50% of the income should be used for the spiritual mission, spiritual atmosphere in the state. If everyone does this, 50% of their income, just imagine how will be the whole atmosphere. Everywhere there will be spirituality only. Because of the hoarding and accumulation, we tend to enjoy the money. Now, what is the tension for a wealthy person? How to spend? How to spend? He has so much of money, doesn't know where to spend. Then what he'll do? He will go to some outside countries, spend there and come back. So instead of spending here and there, if we just put in our mission, so many preaching centers can be made everywhere. Just imagine in a city, if there are 100 preaching centers, then what will be the whole atmosphere? Everywhere there will be Harinam. 100 temples, 100 preaching centers, there will be only Harinam. So many goshalas, cows will be protected. Let's see, just the dhanarashi of people has to be taken 50%. But who is giving 50%? Even to give 1% also people cry. 1% of 1 lakh is 1,000. If a person is earning 10 lakhs, how much it is? 10,000. Ask a person who is earning 10 lakhs, please give 10,000 rupees every month. Not give. But scriptures say 50% should be donated. You will say, what is remaining then? Because already the income tax is taking so much money. Then what is remaining then? At last you have remained with the thing. You have to sit on the roads then. That is why some concession is given. Okay, at least 25 you do. That also not possible. Okay, 10%. That is also not possible. 1%. That is also not possible. At least give the size of salt put in a food. That means at least 1 pinch. This sacrificing tendency will slowly give us detachment from the fruits of our karma. Okay.
सभी प्रकार का जुआ, द्रूत, यहाँ तक कि सट्टेबाजी भी पतन की ओर ले जाने वाली है। और जब राज्य में जुआ खेलने को प्रोत्साहन मिलता है तो सत्य का सर्वथा लोप हो जाता है। उपयुक्त आयु से अधिक काल तक तरुणों तथा तरुणियों को अविवाहित रहने की अनुमति तथा सभी तरह के कसाई घरों को लाइसेंस का निषेध होना चाहिए। मांसाहारियों को शास्त्र अनुमोदित विधि में मांस ग्रहण करना चाहिए, अन्यथा नहीं। सभी प्रकार का नशा, यहाँ तक कि सिगरेट पीना, तंबाकू चबाना, चाय पीना भी निषेध होना चाहिए। थैंक यू माता जी। हरे कृष्ण।
Flesh eaters may be allowed to take flesh as mentioned in the scriptures. Like you have the worship of Kali, the ghastly form of Durga. The tamasic way of worship is allowed for a person who is in tamas. Like you have Shiva's ghastly form. What is the ghastly form of Shiva? Kala Bhairav. And for Kala Bhairav, what is offered? Wine is offered. For Kala Bhairav, flesh is offered. They think that Kala Bhairav is eating. No, he gives to his associates, ghosts and goblins. So Kali is not taking all these things. In fact, her associates are only taking. So that is allowed in the scriptures. At least a person starts accepting an authority, gives and then takes. Not that indiscriminately kills everyone and just swallows. Just to introduce an authority. Yes, you have an authority. You give and then take. So the meat eating is regularized. He will not eat meat on this day, that day, give to this and then eat. You see, there is something known as Gatari Amavasya. Something is there, Gatari Amavasya. That day all will drink. Drink so much that they fall in gutter. That is why there is known as Gatari Amavasya. After that starts Bhadrapat month. Bhadrapat or Shravan, what it starts?
Shravan.
Shravan starts. In that Shravan month, they will not eat anything. They will not eat anything. Then again, once the Shravan is done with, again start. So some regulation, some regularize, at least for 1 month, they have not taken. So many fishes are removed, Vijara. So in this way, some rules and regulations are given. Some license is also given. Slowly, what is the purpose? Bring a person in terms of religiosity or principles of religion. Okay. Punashcha yachamanaya jatarupam madat prabhu tato nurtam madam kamam rajo vairam cha panchamam. The personality of Kali asked for something more. Punhacha yachamanaya. Like a beggar he was standing, asking more. Jatarupam. Jatarupam. Wherever there is gold. Now don't go on throwing your gold outside. Huh? Somebody can ask, hey, then should we wear gold or not? Because generally it is said you have to have gold in your body. Gold dhatu is very wonderful. Now, what gold has been said here? Let us see that also. So there is a very gross meaning and subtle meaning. Jatarupam, gold. Wherever that is there, where there is gold, allow me to live there. Because wherever gold is there, what happens? Anrutam, falsehood, madam, intoxication, kamam, lust, rajaha, on account of a passionate mood, vairam, enmity, all these 5 things are there. But in the marriages, they put Mangal Sutra. So Kali came and sat or what? So which gold has been worn? The gold which is worn by a prostitute. There is a lot of difference between, you go to a goldsmith and just see the gold taken in the mood of Satoguna and gold taken by passionate person for show off. There's a lot of difference. When a Brahman or any cultured woman wears a gold, it is not for show off. Where there is an uncultured woman who wears gold for some falsity, pride, for illicit sex, that is the place Kali stays. We have to be very careful about it. Not just because you are having a gold bangle, you're going to throw it out. No, Kali is not residing there. In that gold bangle, Devi Devatas are residing. It is said, or in the ornaments, Devatas also reside. There is a jingling of the bell which satisfies the Devata in that particular wrist, that place. There is something known as, there is a thread which is tied in your waistband. For the children, Aranakayar or something they say that, Aranakayar, yes. In that also gold is put, small gold is kept. There is a small chain put to the children. There's a small chain put it for the children. The small earring, Karna Cheda Sanskara. What is that Karna Cheda Sanskara? Are you going to put some artificial? You'll be putting gold. Then immediately a mother should not say, oh, Kali is going to sit there. No. In that Karna Cheda Sanskara, that is to please the demigod who is taking care of that particular portion, and for that in the Karna Cheda Sanskara, small gold is put. This gold touches the body, it gives a metal. That metal, gold metal, is very good for our health. In Ayurveda, gold is used for making leha. At the age of 5 years, this leha is given where gold is used. And that gold alloy gives you that benefit which a vaccination also cannot give. It keeps you immune to the diseases. So there is a use of gold. At the same time, gold cannot be used just for some show off. So which gold has been told by Kali? Where? That is why this is there. Wherever falsity, intoxication, lust, envy, enmity. Now you have a lot of gold property and two brothers are fighting for it. Understand? There Kali resides. You have a lot of gold. You are using it for drinking. You are selling it and drinking. Kali resides. Lot of gold is there. You have put all the gold and you are just lusty. Kali resides. You put lot of gold. You create enviousness in the heart of people. Kali resides. So understand, what is the purpose of gold? There was last year, so many devotees, they sold their gold and gave to us. Why? For the construction of temple. So then, the same gold, which was their property, they sold. Purpose. Now in that gold, Kali is not there. That gold is used for Krishna service. Somebody made Mangal Sutra and gave for Lakshmi now. Lakshmi Narsimha. So Kali resides there. So we should be very careful in understanding a particular subject. The gold which creates confusion in the house, the gold which creates disturbance in the house, the gold which creates falsity, enviousness, fight, quarrel, there Kali resides. Okay. Vimalangi Mataji, can you read? Vimalangi. Is there? Okay, Ramakirti Prabhu. You read. Ramakirti Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Although Maharaj Parikshit gave Kali permission to live in 4 places, it was very difficult for him to find the places because during the reign of Maharaj Parikshit, there were no such places. Therefore, Kali asked the king to give him something practical which could be utilized for his nefarious purposes. Maharaj Parikshit thus gave him permission to live in a place where there is gold, because where there is gold, there are all the above mentioned 4 things. And over and above them, there is enmity also. So the personality of Kali became gold standardized. According to Srimad Bhagavatam, gold encourages falsity, intoxication, prostitution, envy, and enmity. Even a gold standard exchange and currency is bad. Gold standard currency is based on falsehood because the currency is not.
women को अच्छी तरह से सजना चाहिए. देखिए वस्तु प्रभुपाद.
Hare Krishna. Even a gold standard exchange and currency is bad. Gold standard currency is based on falsehood because the currency is not on a par with the reserved gold. The basic principle is falsity because currency notes are issued in value beyond that of the actual reserved gold. This artificial inflation of currency by the authorities encourages prostitution of the state economy. The price of commodities becomes artificially inflated because of bad money or artificial currency notes. Bad money drives away good money. Instead of paper currency, actual gold coins should be used for exchange, and this will stop prostitution of gold. Gold ornaments for women may be allowed by control, not by quality, but by quantity. This will encourage lust. This will discourage lust, envy, and enmity. When there is actual gold currency in the form of coins, the influence of gold in producing falsity, prostitution, etc. will automatically cease. there will be no need of an anti-corruption ministry for another term of prostitution and falsity of purpose. Hare Krishna.
अमूनि पञ्चस्थानानि ह्यधर्म प्रभव कलिः औतरेयेन दत्तानि न्यवसत् तन्निदेशकृत्. So Amuni in all these places, Panchasthani in all these five places. Falsity, intoxication, lust, envy, enmity. 5 places. Or you can also say where there is gambling, intoxication, illicit sex, meat eating, and gold. And gold again provided where there is falsity, intoxication, lust, envy, enmity. Everywhere 5 are there. See, 5th one is again tried having 5. So in these places, Prabha encouraging Kali. Kali has been encouraged to stay by the son of Uttara, Uttarayena. Dattani Nevasata Tat Nideshakrit. He directed him to stay there. Okay, Mohit Prabhu read.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thus, the age of Kali began with gold standardization, and therefore falsity, intoxication, animal slaughter, and prostitution are rampant all over the world, and the sailor section is eager to drive out corruption. The counteracting process is suggested above, and everyone can take advantage of this suggestion.
Okay, next. अथैतानि न सेवेन अथैतानि न सेवेत भूषः पुरुषः क्वचेत् विशेषतो धर्मशीलो राजा लोकपतिर्गुरुः. अथैतानि न सेवेत बभूषु पुरुषः क्वचित्. So अथैतानि. Jai Mohan Prabhu, your phone is silent. So Athaitani na seveta. Your phone is okay. Athaitani na seveta. So na seveta means he should not come in contact. Who should not come in contact? Who desire well-being. Such Purushaha who desires well-being should not come in contact with what? With these Visheshataha Dharmashilaha. If he is in the progressive path of liberation, Raja Lokapatihi, if he is a Raja, if he is a public leader, if he is Guru, he should not come in contact with Etani, all these 4. That is illicit sex, gambling, intoxication, and meat eating. In these places, he should not be there, or he should not come in contact with 4 above mentioned irreligious principles. Who all? King, religionists, so one who is a king, one who is a religionist. Religionist means one who is in the path of dharma, one who is a brahmana, one who is a sannyasi, one who is a public leader. He should never come in contact with these irreligious principles, because yad idachariti shreshtas tattadeve taro janaha sayat pramanam krute lokas tadanu vartate. If he comes in contact with these irreligious principles, where intoxication, that means there is no austerity, there is no compassion, there is no truthfulness, there is no purity, what is he going to teach his dependents? That is why they should not come in contact with these irreligious principles. Okay, Bindu Mataji, read.
Hare Krishna Mataji. The Brahmanas are the religious preceptors for all other castes, and the sannyasis are the spiritual masters for all the castes and orders of society. So also are the king and the public leaders who are responsible for the material welfare of all people. The progressive religionists and those who are responsible human beings, or those who do not want to spoil their valuable human life, should refrain from all the principles of irreligiosity, especially illicit connection with women. If a Brahmana is not truthful, all his claims as a Brahmana at once become null and void. If a sannyasi is illicitly connected with women, all his claims as a sannyasi at once becomes false. Similarly, if the king and the public leader are unnecessarily proud or habituated to drinking and smoking, certainly they become disqualified to discharge public welfare activities. Therefore, truthful
Hey,
activities. Truthfulness is the basic principle for all religion. The four leaders of the human society, namely the sannyasis, the brahmana, the king, and the public leader, must be tested crucially by their character and qualification. Before one can be accepted as a spiritual or material master of society, he must be tested by the above mentioned criteria of character. Such public leaders may be less qualified with academic qualifications, but it is necessary primarily that they be free from the contamination of the four disqualifications, namely gambling, drinking, prostitution, and animal slaughter. Hare Krishna.
yes.
Mataji.
वृषस्य नष्टान् स्त्रीन् पादान् तपः शौचं दयामिति प्रतिसन्दध आश्वास्य महिं च समवर्धयत् वृषस्य नष्टान् स्त्रीन् पादान् तपः शौचं दयामिति प्रतिसन्दध आश्वास्य महिं च समवर्धयत्. So the bull, personality of religion, Vrishasya Nashtan, he had lost 3 legs, 3 padan, that is tapaha, shaucham, dayam. Somewhere truthfulness was there, but 3 legs are lost. Pratisandhade, this king, what he did, Parikshit Maharaj, he re-established the lost legs. Ashvasya. So in this way, he encouraged the activities, mahim, in the earth, samavardhaya. So in this way, the whole atmosphere was improving, perfectly improved. It improved, sufficiently improved. Samavardhaya. He re-established the lost legs. Okay. Suradheksha Prabhu, read.
Mataji, I am not at home. I am at my brother's place, so I don't have a book, Mataji. I am sorry.
Okay, no problem. Sanjay Prabhu, read.
By designating particular places for the personality of Kali, Maharaj Parikshit practically cheated Kali. In the presence of Kali, Dharma, in the shape of a bull, and the earth in the shape of a cow, he could actually estimate the general condition of his kingdom, and therefore he at once took proper steps to re-establish the legs of the bull, namely austerity, cleanliness, and mercy. And for the general benefit of the people of the world, he saw that the gold stock might be employed for stabilization. Gold is certainly a generator of falsity, intoxication, prostitution, enmity, and violence. But under the guidance of a proper king or public leader, or a Brahman or sannyasi, the same gold can be properly utilized to re-establish the lost legs of the bull, the personality of religion. Maharaj Parikshit, therefore, like his grandfather Arjun, collected all illicit gold kept for the propensities of Kali and employed it in the Sankirtana Yagna. as per instruction of the Srimad Bhagavatam. As we have suggested before, one's accumulated wealth may be divided into three parts for distribution, namely 50% for service of the Lord, 25% for the family members, and 25% for personal necessities. Spending 50% for the service of the Lord or for propagation of spiritual knowledge in society by way of the Sankirtana Yagna is the maximum display of human mercy. People of the world are generally in darkness regarding spiritual knowledge, especially in regard to the devotional service of the Lord. And therefore, to propagate the systematic transcendental knowledge of devotional service is the greatest mercy that one can show in this world. When everyone is taught to sacrifice 50% of his accumulated gold for the Lord's service, certainly austerity, cleanliness, and mercy automatically ensue, and thus the lost three legs of the personality of religion are automatically established. When there is sufficient austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness, naturally Mother Earth is completely satisfied, and there is very little chance for Kali to infiltrate the structure of human society.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
There is sufficient austerity, cleanness, mercy. And Father Prabhupada says, learn to sacrifice. So Prabhupada directly says 50% of the accumulated gold. Sacrifice. Use it in Krishna consciousness. Then everywhere we can establish four regulative principles. Saishayetarhyadhyasta asanam parthivochitam pitamahenopannyastam राज्ञारण्यं विविक्षता आस्ते धुना सराजर्षि कौरवेन्द्र श्रियो लसन् गजाहव्ये महाभागश् चक्रवर्ती बृहश्रवाः स एष अध्यास्त एतर्हि so at present he was ruling. That is the most fortunate. Parikshit Maharaj was ruling. Asanam parthivochitam. He was ruling very nicely, and it was entrusted to him Pitamahena by his grandfather. Upanyastam, that means it was handed over to him, Ragya, king. And then the king retired to the forest, Aranyam Vivikshataha. He went and stayed in the forest. So at present, who is ruling? That is Maharaj Parikshit is ruling. And in this way, Raja Rishi is a sage among the kings. Kaurave Indraha. He is now the king of the Kuru dynasty. Shriya Ullasan. His glories are spreading everywhere. Gajave, Hastinapur, Gajahavi. Hasti means elephant, Gajahavya. Hastinapur. His fame is increasing. Mahabhaga is very fortunate. Chakravarti. He is the king. Bhrutashravah is very famous. So seeing all his wonderful qualities, the whole kingdom is handed over to Parikshit Maharaj by his grandfather Yudhishthira. And Yudhishthira then went to the forest. He retired to the forest. And he has proved to be a wonderful king, the chief of the Kurus. He spread his glories and is a very fortunate king. He became highly famous. Parikshit Maharaj became highly famous. To such an extent, the sons of Pandavas were not so famous. They were beheaded anyhow. But they did not become so famous. When Abhimanyu also did not become so famous as Parikshit Maharaj. Because he is specially blessed by Lord. Right in the womb itself, he has seen Lord. The son of Uttara. Abhimanyu is his father. His father also did not become so famous as much as his son. Uttara directly took shelter of Krishna. And Krishna protected Parikshit Maharaj right in the womb. That is why he was inquiring when he came outside, his name became Parikshit. So he's Bhagavata Uttamaha, Bhagavata Sattamaha, Bhagavata Uttamaha. He is such a great, fortunate soul. So that has been glorified. Okay, Aruna, read.
Hare Krishna. The prolonged sacrificial ceremonies undertaken by the sages of Naimisharanya were begun shortly after the demise of Maharaj Parikshit. The sacrifice was to continue for 1000 years, and it is understood that in the beginning, some of the contemporaries of Baladeva, the elder brother of Lord Krishna, also visited the sacrificial place. According to some authorities, the present tense is also used to indicate the nearest margin of time from the past. In that sense, the present tense is applied to the reign of Maharaja Parikshit here. For a continuous fact, also present tense can be used. The principles of Maharaja Parikshit can be still continued, and human society can still be improved if there is determination by the authorities. We can still purge out from the state all the activities of immorality introduced by the personality of Kali if we are determined to take action like Maharaja Parikshit. He allotted some place for Kali, but in fact, Kali could not find such place in the world at all because Maharaja Parikshit was strictly vigilant to see that there were no places of gambling, drinking, prostitution, and animal slaughter. Modern administrators want to banish corruption from the state, but fools as they are, they do not know how to do it. They want to issue licenses for gambling houses, wine, and other intoxicating drug houses, brothels, hotel, prostitution, and cinema houses, and falsity in every dealing, even in their own, and they want at the same time to drive out corruption from the state. They want the kingdom of God without God consciousness. How can it be possible to adjust two contradictory matters? If we want to drive out corruption from the state, we must first of all organize society to accept the principles of religion, namely austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. And to make the condition favorable, we must close all places of gambling, drinking, prostitution, and falsity. These are some of the practical lessons from the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna.
So Kali could not find a place in the kingdom of Parikshit. There is no place at all. He ensured that there should not be any of these activities done in the state. Now Kali is trembling where to go and sit. Anyway, it is going to come now. So here immediately Srila Prabhupada speaks about the present condition. Every administrator says there should not be any corruption. But license is also given, na? But in that name of license, activities allowed to do. Parikshit Maharaj gave the license to stay, but there was no place to stay. There is a lot of difference between the present administrators and Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj said, okay, go and stay in these 4 places. But where is that 4th place? When Kali is confused, where should I go? I am not able to find these 4 places. Now the present administrators also say there should not be any corruption. But license is given and encouraged also. That has been given. Okay, last verse for this chapter. Ittam bhutanubhavoyam abhimanyu suto nipah yasya palyatah ksaunim yuyam satraya dikshitah. Maharaj Parikshit is the son of Abhimanyu, Ittam Bhutaha, Anubhavaha, Abhimanyu Sutaha, and he is Anubhavaha. He is very experienced king. And Palayataha, because of ruling Shaunim, this earth, it has been possible. Why he is a perfect administrator and patronage? Because He has ruled this earth. Satraya Dikshitaha. And he has done it as a sacrifice. That means when you say sacrifice, immediately understand for the pleasure of Lord. His ruling is also for the pleasure of Lord. A king is supposed to rule the planet or earthly planet or the kingdom for the pleasure of Lord. That is as a matter of sacrifice. Whenever you perform an activity, it should be as a matter of sacrifice. That means for the pleasure of Krishna. And he has done that. That is why he is an experienced king. He is an experienced administrator. As a matter of sacrifice, grow your children. Somebody asked me on Sunday, Mataji, is it necessary to produce children after marriage? What a question. I have a doubt. I thought some doubt. I said, for how many years you have been married? I have been married for 5 to 6 years. I said, no children. I was just thinking why we should have children. We can be just partners. I said, the purpose of marriage is to be a good grahastha, beget children, and use them for Krishna service. Simple. Or train them in Krishna service. So even that is also one yajna only. It is also a sacrifice. Any activity done as a matter of sacrifice for the pleasure of Krishna, that is actually, that is spiritual enlightenment. You can be a good grahastha. You can be a good sannyasi. Any ashrama, you have to do it as an ashraya for Krishna. And this king who is a Kshatriya, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So as a Kshatriya, he should be a good ruler. And a ruler is one who does all the activities as a sacrifice. Okay. Vimla, read.
Krishna. The Brahmanas and the Sannyasis are expert in the spiritual advancement of society, whereas the Kshatriya or the administrators are expert in the material peace and prosperity of human society. Both of them are the pillars of all happiness, and therefore they are meant for full cooperation for common welfare. Maharaj Parikshit was experienced enough to drive away Kali from his field of activities and thereby make the state receptive to spiritual enlightenment. If the common people are not receptive, it is very difficult to impress upon them the necessity of spiritual enlightenment. Austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness, the basic principles of religion, prepare the ground for the reception of advancement in spiritual knowledge, and Maharaja Parikshit made this favorable condition possible. Thus, the rishis of Naimisharanya were able to perform the sacrifices for 1,000 years. In other words, without state support, no doctrines of philosophy or religious principles can progressively advance. There should be complete cooperation between the Brahmanas and the Kshatriyas for this common good. Even up to Maharaj Ashoka, the same spirit was prevailing. Lord Buddha was sufficiently supported by King Ashok, and thus his particular cult of knowledge was spread all over the world. Thus end the Bhakti Vedanta purpose of the first canto, 17th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Punishment and Reward of Kali. Hare Krishna.
We can't hear you, Mataji.
Mataji, you're on mute.
Ahimsa Paro Dharma was spread. But then how many of them who are the followers of Lord Buddha are following this? So that is very important. What are the principles for what purpose Lord incarnates as Buddha? Ahimsa. One of the most important aspect, ahimsa. Okay. Any questions? Ask. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna,
Yes.
Mataji. Mataji, that in one shloka it came that people are doing in the name of religion, like the eating fleshes and all, and doing all kind of bad things. One incident it happened, Mataji, in one association. Like there was a small base of devotees, and a non-devotee has been allowed to stay in that base actually. And that non-devotee was smoking inside the base and doing all kind of rubbish things. But the in charge of the base told, because he's giving us 10,000 rupees, so let him do. If you want to leave, you can go from here. So in that situation, like what a devotee should do, obviously I left that base immediately from there, and I started living somewhere else. But we see nowadays so many things, because they are looking like financially the base should be supporting. So this type of activity, why people are promoting amongst devotees also. So
that is why I
what
told you,
impression?
I
Yes.
told the authority should give shelter, but not encourage irreligious principles. If the authority is encouraging irreligious principles, then he is not an authority. Then devotees should come together and throw out that authority.
Thank you.
If you have that power. But then what to do? If you are in minority, then you only have to go out. Okay, Vimla Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. My question is, these symptoms of Kali Yuga, were they present in Satyuga and Treta Yuga also, or not at all?
Not much.
Not much. Means they were there. These symptoms.
See, demons were there.
Huh.
Demons were there. So demons are also having these type of symptoms. Now, what we are speaking is the age which is going to come. Were demons truthful or what? They were having this lobha, everything. But there was a distinct difference between demon and divine. Now, what is this atmosphere? It is trying to spread even in a good people, this type of irreligiosity. So the yuga is coming where this will be predominant. In Satyuga also there were, but it is not defined as Kali, it is defined as demon. When you say Kali means the atmosphere or the age is going to start of quarrel, where the quarrel will be more, and where will be the demon? Within each and every one of us. You will not find a demon separately. That is why Mahavadanyaya avatar Krishna has taken. But he cannot really define who is a demon and who is divine. We're in the same person.
Yes, thank you.
Nice question. Okay. Nila Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, this chapter is titled as Punishment and Reward of Kali. Where is the punishment and where is the reward, Mataji?
Reward is his life is saved.
Can you repeat it, Mataji?
Reward is he is not killed. He is saved.
Okay.
Kali has not been killed. Kali Yuga is going to start.
Then where is the punishment? He was not killed only.
Punishment is he's not finding a place. He is searching, and the search is going on till he sits on the head of Parikshit. So he's searching. Just imagine his Vetha. Where should I go? I'm not finding. He's running here, there, not finding anything. Ultimately, when there is some disturbance in the mood, see, I try to understand it is not gross place. Now, what happened when Parikshit went? He saw Shamik Rishi engrossed. Shringi or Shamik? Shringi, na? Shringi Rishi. Shringi. One of them, father. So he is engrossed. Immediately he thought, what is this? I am a king. I am not respected. The moment this thought came, Kali entered. So Kali enters the place where there is disturbance in the mind. Kali enters the place where there is conflict. So it is said, oh, he wore a crown. Before that also he was wearing crown only, na? Oh, he wore a crown, in that gold he entered. No, he entered the consciousness where there is a conflict, where the pride entered. I am a king, he should have shown me respect. And Parikshit dishonored by throwing the snake. And again, he is not the Parikshit who is protected by Krishna. He is the Parikshit who is a shadow form of the original Parikshit. Original Parikshit will never do this. He is a devotee. So that is also Acharya's right. He is not the Parikshit how an original Parikshit will be killed by a serpent. Even the snake cannot touch who is eternal Parshada of Krishna. But a soul who desires to act in the mood of Parikshit, he is a shadow form. He has been cursed. How a Bhagavata Sattamaha, Bhagavata Uttamaha can have such even thought? But these type of leelas are there to show to us whenever conflict is there in our heart, Kali has entered. That is why we chant every day 10 Nama Paradhas. Satam Nindanamna Paramaparadham Vidanute. Don't have Nindaniya nature. What will happen? Kali will enter. Kali has got that reward. What is that reward? Enter the hearts of people who have conflicts. Wherever conflict is there, enter. Wherever there is mismatch, there is now going to be quarrel, disagreement, enter there. So it is not just illicit sex, truthfulness, no meat eating. I'm not eating anything meat, I'm eating Jain food, I'm eating Vaishnava food. This is gross. Compassion is lost. That is why we are chanting Dasnam Aparad. This is the first thing. Have motherly nature. You can correct a person, but don't criticize a person. There's a lot of difference. Mother has a right to punish. Mother has a right to beat. Prabhupada called fools and rascals. But Prabhupada called for our improvement.
Beautiful.
So criticizing nature, Kali has to enter.
Mataji, one more question. Like here we see Parikshit Maharaj also knows very clearly that Kali is asking those places to continue his nefarious activities. And he's giving him shelter, though it's a different thing that he's ensuring that those activities do not take place in his kingdom. But at the same time, he has given him shelter. So it's like giving him a license to continue all kinds of nonsensical activities. So now also when the government is issuing license for liquor and all, then it's a kind of similar thing. May not be same, but it's very much similar.
He allowed to stay in the place where these dirty things are there. And he ensured this not there.
Yes.
The license given by the present government is just superficial. Allowing the things to be there and desiring to have Ram Rajya without having Rama. Okay.
But Mataji, that licensing is starting from Parikshit Maharaj only, na?
That is just to show the dharma. The principle of dharma is you have to give protection to one who has surrendered. Simple. Licensing is not there. You go and search where you find. The king says, go and find. You want not to stay alone, go and find. He's not able to find. That is to push him in the path of dharma. When he doesn't find anyone, under the Now under the fear of Parikshit Maharaj, he has to follow dharma. Like the mother says, let me see whether you're studying or not. She is saying, okay, I'm not seeing. You can go and study anywhere. And she knows very well the child is not studying. She knows very well the child is not studying, speaking lies. But still mother says, okay, you can go in a secluded place and study. But the child finds that I'm not the secretary. Everywhere I'm in watch. Mother is watching me through somebody else. Okay, go to that room and study. Mother has kept the elder brother there. And then asking the information, what is your younger brother doing? So then what will happen is, under the fear, the child has to study. You don't sit before me. I don't want you before me. Okay, where you want to go? Go in the other room. Go in that room. So I don't want your bow and arrow to be seen. Okay, where you want to stay? You want to stay in a place where gambling happens. Okay, there. Then he's searching. He's not finding anywhere. So it is like indirectly trying to push him in the principles of religion. With the sword in the hand. That means with fear shown. One is love, one is fear.
Yes.
Okay.
Mataji, one more small, sorry, Mataji, just small one. Like, I don't know, I feel there is little contradiction. For example, here Kali is surrendering and he is being shown compassion. I'm not so clear. Maybe I think it's King Prithu who performs 100 sacrifices, Ashwamedha Yagya, and Indra steals his horses. And he comes in the garb, he comes in a disguise. And then when his son chases, Prithu Maharaj's son chases him. And he kind of surrenders. But then he is told to kill him. Though he does not kill, that's a different thing, but he is instructed to kill him, despite Indra taking his shelter and accepting his mistake. So here there is
Again, he's
one
not
stanza.
killed. That time he's not killed.
Yeah, he is not killed, but he is instructed to kill.
So sometimes the instructions and the whole scenario is different. Is different. Sometimes, now see here, Parikshit Maharaj is presenting the heritage of Pandavas, where anybody who takes shelter is forgiven. Like Ashwathama.
Okay.
Ashwathama. He sent Brahmastra to kill Parikshit.
Yes.
And he killed all the Upapandavas.
Yes.
Draupadi took a vow that I will wash my hairs with the blood of Ashwathama. The moment he came, is Drona's son forgiven. Only the jewel is removed. So that is a heritage. Even such a person who has killed the son, he has not been killed. He has not been killed. So to show that heritage, yes, you are standing with Anjali Mudra. Okay, I am forgiving you. But you go and then you should not do this. Then what he says, you allow me to, wherever I am going, I am seeing your Shasan. Allow me to stay in a place where under your protection, I can stay safely. That means I can do all my notorious things. Okay, fine, in these 4 places. He is not able to find. That is how the story now goes. In the case of Prithu Maharaj, that is a different, whole scenario is different. Now the demigod is only king, demigod, leader of the demigod. He is only coming and taking the horses.
Yes.
That whole thing, the scenario itself is different. So instructions there is under particular circumstances. Instruction here is particular circumstances. But in both the circumstances, you can see one who has taken shelter is not killed.
Yes. Very true.
Dharma is followed.
Very true. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
So yesterday's message and today morning's message you have seen. The concern was like 8, only 9 students are there who are writing examination. But now I'm finding here at least 14. Now, Ashdev Prabhu, Sukurvedi Prabhu, if you see, 14 are there. 13, 14 are there. But if you have more students, and then whatever you have done is in a fast track. If we have the practice of teaching, like one day, like one Friday, in a week, Tuesday, Thursday is allotted for Bhakti Vaibhava. One day will be your day, where you can have, like we have devotee care program, it is Bhakta care program, the Bhagavad care program, where you can discuss, you can ask questions to them, and you can see how they respond. And then the shlokas recitation. Then whatever explanations you have heard and you are reading, you can tell to them and ask them. This will become a very nice, by teaching, your strength in the subject, hold in the subject also will increase. So 1 year if you do this, in the next batch, you have at least 30 students. So the mood is, the strength is also good. By in that span of 1 year, the foundation of the whole Bhagavatam is this first canto. Your hold on the first canto is there. And the great speed we can finish it off. But what is the use? You will learn, you will forget what you have learned. And those who are really specially intelligent, yes, like Vrindavan Lila Mataji, you can be the good trainer for those who have, like even among you, there are few who are not able to chant the shlokas. Again, you can do that. Aruna Mataji is very good in chanting shlokas. Bindu Mataji, you all again can revise. You can also revise, teach the best way. Mohit Prabhu. So I need help of Vrindavan Lila Mataji, so we can jot down how to engage all the present students. Chaitanya Prabhu, Sanjay Prabhu, Vimla Mataji, everybody. Give certain roles in the Friday program once the 2 batches combine. What all subjects, how to do. So everybody should do. Everybody should be present. It's not that only 2 people are there. No. The strength should be all the students present in Tuesday also, Thursday also, Friday, or maybe whatever day you all decide. One day will be your day where no teacher is there. You are the teacher. All of you are the teachers. And then there will be a nice, wonderful. This is how the Gurukul system. The Gurukul system, the elders become the teachers. And then slowly you combine yourself. Okay. So we will try to do that and try to plan out how to do. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu namo namaha. Vaishnavendra ki jai.
Thank you, Mataji.